I'm J.Swift.
Fatlip.
I'm LAJ.
Slim Kid Trey.
K-Nat.
And we are Bizarre Ride.
And you're watching Showskii.com. You're...
I'm from a country called I Rap.
Yeah, me too.
but I grew up in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
That's my hood is I Rap, and so is the rest of my members. They might be born anywhere else, but their nationality is now I Rap. So look, where are you from?
So look, we grew up in, I grew up in South Central.
Right.
He grew up in Inglewood.
Right.
He grew up in the Fairfax area. Where did you grow up?
All over West LA.
All over West LA.
Glenway. He was in Inglewood.
South Central, but I went to,
This is South Central.
Yeah.
Don't say West Chester. You say Westchester one more time.
Alright, anyways. What do we like about it? I mean, LA is, it's a great place to,
It's the fast life, but you can slow it down.
It has its pros and cons.
Like LA and Hollywood is two different things. LA is a very good place to be. Hollywood, everybody's trying to be something, So it's whatever.
And then next door, but
But we got the 4 seasons. Like if we want desert, we can go to Palm Springs. If we want the mountains or snow, we can go to Big Bear. If we want the beach, go to Malibu. If you want, we basically got there. All seasons. It's like in one.
Actually, we have one season in LA, and it's sunshine, sunshine, and sunshine.
Right.
If you want other seasons, you have to travel, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, we were like form of water, shape of a wig.
There was a mad scientist named Reggie Andrews, and he just we just all met when we were young. We were teenagers.
Yeah.
I was producing, and I met Trey, and I met him through my friend Robert Tillis, who goes by the name the Black Genie. But I met him,
and years ago his name was The Rhythm. He actually had an album out.
Yeah, he had a record out.
So basically, I hung out with this guy when he was in high school still.
Right.
And I was in college, and I was writing raps with Robert Tillis and things like that. And Robert Tillis was like, "Yo, I got this young cat that he makes beats, and he's like 16 years old." And I'm like, "What? He got beats? He's 16?" So I went over to his house, and he really did. He had his shit together. He was a big time producer, at a young age, a little prodigy, whatever.
Yeah, he borrowed all my sounds.
And so hanging out with him, he was working on this group called Shy, which is now known as Jazzy Fat Nasties, and then another group called GTI, and then there was my group, which was 2 for 2, and then there was Fatlip, who was Jammer D at the time, and we just kind of combined forces, 2 for 2 and Jammer D.
All right. I met this guy.
And became the Pharcyde.
Right. I met this guy at it was like a showcase, and me and Reggie were there, who was my mentor. He used to produce the Daz Band. So for anybody who wants to check the history, this is old, like the 80s. Like 82, he had a song called Let It Whip that blew up. So as far as I was concerned, I met him, and then that was my path to the success that I thought I would have. So I met this guy, and I come up to him, and I told him, "Hey man, you dope, I want to produce you." He actually thought I was a joke, because I was short with long arms, and I was 16. So he was like, "This can't be," but fortunately I had met a girl who turned me down. And then, but she had came to my house because she dated one of my friends. And when she dated one of my friends, she told him about all the keyboards and all the stuff that was at my house. So this guy took the bus and came to me, but he came with his raps and he came with a record for me to sample. And that he was like the last piece of the puzzle. We had no idea we were going to become the Pharcyde. Nobody knew that. We all had our respective agendas and our goals. But once we all were in the same place, it's like what do they call it? Like osmosis. It just all of us being in the same place, we realized, hey, we always hang around each other. We always bag on each other. We always rap together. We might as well just be a crew. So that's what we ended up becoming.
Yeah. And LAJ and J.Swift used to hang out a whole lot. And LAJ is a big time producer too.
No, we used to be a production team, me and this guy. We used to produce with Ricky Bell and them. We did a couple of like projects with Molly Mall, which is like to me like the greatest producer of all time. As soon as I get my Grammy, I'm giving it to Molly Mall. I can't say it enough. I'm gonna make sure he has plane tickets and everything, whatever. But we came to the conclusion we wanted to expand, and our music was not going anywhere, just in the R&B world. So we ended up doing hip hop, and so he ended up coming aboard for the Bizarre Ride album, and him and Trey, they put together Other Fish, and then he worked on
Flash Pie remix.
Right, and he did it exactly for Passing Me By.
He did Pork.
And then he ended up working with them on Lab Cabin.
He worked with me on She Said. Oh, that was Lab Cabin.
Yeah, Lab Cabin, which Jay Dilla ended up coming in and producing. So we're like a family, and that's what we do. We roll as a family, like any family. Sometimes we have disagreements, sometimes we have impasses, but we generally work it out through the music.
Yeah,
that's what solves everything. The music is the key to success.
Yeah, we listen to so many hours and hours and hours of music together, and we critique music like all the time. Like we'll hear a song outside, and we'll just like sit back and like talk about the song structure or where it could be better, or like we're just really like kind of like fanatical about it, So it's for us to do. We can't help it.
Right. And there's no other life for us other than this. So that's what we do.
Let's start from this side.
Man, for me,
what does Bizarre Ride mean for you, huh?
A lot of fun, bizarre work for me, because I had to come in as the baby brother from a younger group of the crew and like step up and kind of relive this moment now, but in a new way. So it's bizarre. It gets bizarre. It is. It's what the name entitles. Like for me personally,
it's like when you listen. The name says it all.
It
basically.
does.
It really fucking does. He's from the Wasco crew, our little brother group, and they were bizarre. Just in themselves. Actually, you guys know more about something bizarre than anybody.
This guy? Speak on it, man.
It's the Bizarre Ride. It's like that was the name of the first album. So that when I think of Bizarre Ride, I think of the first album. That was when everybody was on fire. Like it was that was the magical moment. And that's basically like we decided because the original Pharcyde is kind of like the other cats are kind of like doing some other stuff. They're still touring. They're doing the Pharcyde songs and stuff like that, just like we are. But we decided to kind of form a new union. Like my man said, like he was the young, the younger cat, like watching us in the studio. And I don't even know how old were you back then.
13,
14, 13.
Yeah.
15.
So like he's been
Let's
around.
keep it real. He was 15. I was there. I used to pick them up from high school. He used to come to my apartment.
Yeah. It's funny because it's just a mystery. Because the questions I get most by not so much the media, but just people, in passing and in the street and the fans and stuff. They're like, "What happened with the group? Like, why is my?" Because it's usually by fans that that love the group and love what the group represented. And it's kind of like a mystery as to what happened. Like, but yeah, but at the same time, we really don't get that question too much, like from the media, and
fans.
It comes up.
I mean,
more with the fans.
We don't even know what happened.
More with the fans. More with the fans than the media. The media asks us. I mean, I have to tell you, like, I could think of like a dozen times that we've done interviews in the whole since last year. We've been touring for our 20th anniversary, and it comes up out of 10 times. It comes up at least 7 times, but it comes up more when we're going to these countries, and they're like, "What's?"
I mean, it's funny because it's just a mystery. Because the questions I get most by not so much the media, but just people, you know, in passing and in the street and the fans and stuff. They're like, "What happened with the group? Like, why is my?" Because it's usually by fans that that love the group and love what the group represented. And it's kind of like a mystery as to what happened. Like, but yeah, I mean, but at the same time, we really don't get that question too much, like from the media, and
fans.
It comes up. I mean,
more with the fans. We don't even know what happened.
More with the fans. More with the fans than the media. The media asks us. I mean, I have to tell you, like, I could think of like a dozen times that we've done interviews in the whole since last year. We've been touring for our 20th anniversary, and it comes up out of 10 times. It comes up at least 7 times, but it comes up more when we're going to these countries, and they're like, "What's up? What is this? What's going on?"
Why isn't it working?
Right. To us, I'm gonna tell you like this: those other 2 dudes are like Republicans. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to negotiate. That's how they feel. All right, cool. But we're like Democrats. We're rolling. All right, we all a family. We don't have a problem with them. If they ever want to join us, they can join us. It's cool because I know for a fact, because I'm a hip hop fan, that a lot of fans would love to see everyone together. But that's not. Life isn't like that. But what we're dedicated to is bringing you real music, having a good time. Mom is asleep. You thought you were going to get in trouble, but your mom was asleep. She was like, "You better get in here." But she's already knocked out.
They sleep good as hell then.
Yeah, so good, a roach will crawl in your mouth. And that's another story. We'll deal with that later.
That's bizarre right there.
Yeah, that's hence the name. A roach crawling in my mouth in the middle of summer.
What's the
and I'm all knocked out. No.
Like
I won't say
fan encounter.
I won't say like.
Or like.
Period.
I can tell you for me.
Oh God.
Tell them.
I know what he's gonna say.
No, Japan.
The Big Jock.
No, not that. Japan.
Oh, you gotta tell them about the Big Jock.
No.
Please.
Japan was worse
Oh
than
God.
that.
Oh, the bowing
You better
contest.
explain that one quick. Don't
Yeah.
let that hang.
Don't let it happen.
Japan, I was like stuck in this bowling contest. Like these 3 girls, and actually 3 girls and this guy, I got off and like, they just like, I moved and they would move with me. And I moved, they moved, and they just kept bowing. So I didn't know how to get out the bow to end it. So I ended up bowing for so long, and I was looking for help. Like, yo, I was trying different bow styles. I was like trying styles to end my shit, and I just couldn't. And they just kept going.
Okay.
They kept bowing back.
Yeah, they just kept bowing back, and then it was just like.
Just so they don't get it twisted.
Bow Fest
Explain, because I just heard Jock. Explain what I meant about the Big Jock thing.
I have no idea.
No, alright, I'll tell them. Okay, we were in London, right? We were in Manchester,
Right.
And some girl comes up to me, her and her friends. "Where's your friend with the Big Jock?" Said, we could not stop staring at this Big Jock. Next thing you know, he was getting stalked by some girl the whole night. She was like, wouldn't leave him. He was like, "Jay, we gotta get out of here. This girl won't stop following you." It was so crazy. That was bizarre because she was chasing him. Other girls would talk to him and she was angry, like as if she knew him for 10 years. She just met him at our show.
We got another story. We got some other shit.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I just had to get that out the picture because I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Alright, that's what it was. Alright, go ahead.
It's not like a funny story, but it's like kind of like sometimes you have to let fans understand that you're human as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are times where, like, dudes will come up to you and they're like, yo, I love your music and, like, everything. Like, man, you guys are so inspiring and everything. And then this guy will start crying hysterically and just can't stop. And I'm just like, yo,
I saw that.
Yo,
Yeah, I remember
yo,
that.
hold up, it's all good. You know, like, you know, you could be a star too, or just like, it's not like a big deal. You know, like, I always grew up, like, it's not a big, like, stars aren't a big deal to me. Like, I love their music, or I like watching them on TV or whatever, but I'll never take it further than, like, I don't go to those levels. So this particular cat, I try to, like, make him a friend instead. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I didn't want that to happen. That was kind of weird to me. I mean, like, not just weird, but it's like, damn, you know, like, it's all good. Like, let's go get a drink or something. Let's listen to some music. So it's just kind of like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? But
I got two.
Switzerland, right?
Nah.
When you created we had this thing that Fatlip created where we just stand.
Nah. That was a good one.
That was a good
No,
one.
I got two. One we was, well, and this guy wasn't necessarily a fan, because he may or may not have heard our music, but we was on our way to a TV show, and we had a limo, and we was coming outside, and this dude rolled up with a Uzi. And he was
Oh,
I
on
remember
a bike, on a bicycle. He was like, yo, he was like, hey, can I roll with you guys in the limo right around the corner? I gotta do this drive-by real quick. And then
Can you believe that?
everybody's just like, oh man, we really,
we got something to do.
yeah, we kind of like had this thing.
I had an appointment.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
we
then-
don't want to assist
and it
you
was
in
cool,
murdering
and it was cool.
nobody.
He was like, all right. And all right, and the next day it was like, nah, I'm saying, we saw some shit in the paper, nah. And then the next time I was in New York one time, and this girl asked me to sign her leg. And then, so I signed her leg. She was like, yeah, okay, you're not gonna forget this or whatever. Like, 6 years later, she was like, I seen her in L.A. She was like, yo, remember me? Remember I asked you to sign my leg? And like, I told you I was never gonna take it off. She's like, look. And she got the shit tattooed, the signature on her leg. It was just crazy. But it was just one of those nights, like the second time I seen her, you know how sometimes you just get faded and it's just a wonderful night, all kind of crazy stuff is happening. Like, that's what happened that night. I ran into her. She was like, yo, you don't remember me in New York? Yeah, I remember. You signed my leg. She was like, look. That shit was, yeah. So she had a Fatlip signature tattooed to her leg.
Well, as a parent, it hits home super, because no parent wants to lose their 17-year-old kid or their 13-year-old kid for no fucking reason at fucking all. You know what I mean? Like, that just pulls everything out of me as a parent. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there has to be a lot of man, it's just people, those with guns and those with, like, you know, just tasers or whatever, I don't know. There has to be some kind of psychological thing that has to happen where you have to, you know, go through everything that you can to remedy a situation without going to those means to settle situations. Like, that shit should not have happened. Like, you can't take that shit back. Like, if I was that cop, I'd be like kicking myself in the fucking face daily.
I had
You know what I mean? Like, that shit is like what the fuck? That's a what the fuck moment.
I had an interesting revelation just now, just thinking about this, because we just arrived and we found out about this situation, and I came to the conclusion that's a horrible tragedy. That guy should have never been tasered like that. But I also realized that in order to prevent these kind of things from happening, I'm not about law enforcement. I would never be in the professional law enforcement. But I feel like, you know, when you see those kids and they're like, I'm going to be a cop, and they're like a good guy. They want to be a good guy. There needs to be more of those people. I think that the law enforcement agencies are more preoccupied with hiring just people, just to have staff, other than checking, are these the good guys? Are you giving a badge to a bad guy? To me, they're empowering a lot of negative individuals that they didn't vet to find out what their conscience or what their integrity is or what their opinion is about life. So, because there's nothing wrong with the police. The only people that have to fear the police are criminals. But no one at his age, or just for spray painting, should have to fear being murdered by shock. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a matter of we need police, but we
Like,
need...
fuck it, dude. If he fucking
we need
if the
honest
kid,
police.
Hold on. If the kid fucking ran and got away, then he fucking got away. There's
Right.
no reason you're gonna, like, if a kid's writing on a wall, that you, if he pulls out, like, you don't go to a gun, you don't go to anything.
Right.
Like, he got away, fine. Like, okay, well, on to the next day.
Right. If that becomes
You know
a
what I'm
death
saying?
sentence, then it's over.
Like, it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. There's no fucking excuse for that shit.
That means all our kids
You know what I
are
mean?
in danger. All of our kids. If they do something silly, some
They're
nutcase
kids. They're kids. They're fucking
might
kids. Dude.
tase them.
Yeah, I was
They,
just
they
thinking
make
that too.
mistakes, dude. Like I was a graffiti artist. I was talking to one of the security guys outside, and I was like, dude, I used to be a graffiti artist. I used to tag on buses, and I was like, one day I had the notion to go tag on some police cars, and I went and tried to do it, and I don't know what happened, but I didn't get around to doing it, and I was like a tagger, serious tagger. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, you know, like. What trouble could I have gotten into? And the worst thing I heard about someone getting in trouble for tagging was a kid getting caned for it. I don't
Oh
know,
yeah,
it was
overseas.
It was overseas somewhere.
It
And
caned
he got
the hell
caned
out of
for
his
it.
ass.
Like fuck, like damn, yeah, okay.
But he didn't die though.
He didn't die.
Yeah.
He got that shit beat out of him.
I just know that's
But I'll
somebody's
take that.
baby. You know what I mean? Somebody says that's my baby, and he's gone because he was expressing himself through art.
That's
Like
whack.
it's kind of weird.
That's whack.
You know,
And
like,
then to celebrate afterwards, that's not cool. There's no cool guy points in what happened with that, and it's
Them
very
dudes
sad.
should be fired, and I don't know what's going on in Florida. Them dudes, them motherfuckers, fuck it. They need to go. They need to be fired. They need to be gotten out of there.
Yeah.
I hope that, I pray, and
How
I
long
pray
ago
for
did
this.
happen?
Hold on, let me say this. And I pray for the family of this individual that they're compensated. They'll never be able to.
there's no money.
There is no
fucking
way
money.
to replace
Like fuck your
their
money.
child.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, those people should be fired and should be made to pay, so that they send a signal.
Things that keep popping up about this power versus people situation, and there's too many guns. There's just too much crazy shit happening, and no one's fucking responsible. You know what I mean? Like there was times where I was a gun owner. You know what I mean? And I know what that is like to psychologically be one to carry a gun, and it's not like a normal thinking brain. Absolutely. Good morning sounds like, what the fuck do you mean good morning?
Yeah,
Is it a
great.
good morning, motherfucker? Is it?
Yeah.
Huh? Like it's just a whole nother persona,
Yeah.
and it's and I don't know, man. London, I think they got it right by not having guns or something, because
Japan don't got guns.
Yeah.
Japan don't have guns.
They don't mess around.
And I don't know, dude. It's a slippery slope. On a lighter note,
The album.
yeah, new music.
New music, vibing
music.
together, and steady growing.
What can your fans expect from
Okay, y'all expect nothing but excitement.
A lot of fun. You know what? We're like taking all this like just good energy that we have and just putting it on record. Just having fun. People want to have fun. They want to laugh. They want to shake their ass. Girls want to look pretty, and guys want to like go get the pretty girl.
Yeah, just be fly and
It's-
fun. And
Sometimes like people want to keep it simple. You know what I mean? They just want to like not think about the fucking lives that they have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They
We're
wanna just let
designed,
loose.
our job description is to take you out of there. like Bizarre Ride was a experience.
Made you
It
laugh.
wasn't just
Made you
a
laugh.
couple of songs compiled into a record. It was an experience. It was, once you started it, you had to go to the end because of the experience. So that's what we're here to bring to the table. In the interim, be looking out for The Adventures of Negro Knievel. That's coming out. That's my solo album. It will be out next month. Believe me. And that guy is dead. Alright? Well, I'm J.Swift. I produced it. The guy's dead. Alright? What can I tell you?
Folks don't know.
One got out.
Folks don't know who
Posthumous.
Negro
Posthumous.
Knievel, J.Swift's alter ego.
He has an alter
Negro-
ego. It's called Negro Knievel.
Negro Knievel is a maniac.
Right.
He's a maniac. He was created to shake up the system
And destroy J.Swift.
and try to destroy J.Swift,
Yeah.
but it didn't work. But
It's
he
like,
shook
it's
up
like
the system.
Superman has Clark Kent. J.Swift has Negro Knievel.
Right.
Right, but it's backwards because Negro Knievel was he was
just
good for hip hop. He
evil.
was bad for J.Swift.
It's better to say Superman had kryptonite
So-
in his pocket all the time.
Just understand that that's coming out. In the meantime, we're working on Bizarre Ride 1. We're about to, we're gonna take back, we're gonna reestablish ourselves, but with a new brand. Like, the Pharcyde, we love the Pharcyde, we are the Pharcyde, but there's other members that were the Pharcyde, so we've decided to not just stick there. We're gonna do something new. So we're always on a ride. So Bizarre Ride is really the description of our group now. We go everywhere. We tour everywhere.
So
We
Pharcyde
rock
is like
shows.
Superman, and well, actually Pharcyde is like Clark Kent, and Bizarre Ride is like Superman.
Amen.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Bang.
All right.
That says it there.
That's what's up.
Bizarre Ride Uno.
Get at me.
And if you want to visit,
We
you
out
come to my
here.
country. I rap.
We out here.
All the things